What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for PlayPicks.com. Going to talk a Sunday night football game here between the Saints and the Panthers, a game that became even more important than it already was just here in the last 24 hours. Looking forward to see how this one breaks down here. While you're here, please hit that subscribe button down below. Please give us a thumbs up. And in that comment section, let us know how you're going to play this game, whether you like the Saints, whether you like the Panthers, whether you like a side of the total, whether you're going to take a pass on this thing. However it might be. Who are we kidding? You're not going to take a pass on this thing. It's Monday Night Football. It's one of the last couple of Monday Night Footballs we got here, so of course you're not taking a pass on this thing. So anyway, hit that subscribe button, give us a like button. Appreciate it a ton. Of course, guys, what we're trying to do here is just give a bunch of information. I want you to basically, whichever way you were leaning to bet before, hopefully something I say along the way helps you get to that conclusion. So I will tell you where I'm leaning and different things like that. But listen to just all the statistics, all the things that are going on here, and hopefully which way you were leaning to bet anyway kind of gets confirmed as we go along in the video here. Of course, please take a look at this article on PlayPicks. Nate takes a lot of time and breaks down everything top to bottom on this thing, so you can read this thing along and you can see how the different things break down here. Of course, DKPicks.com for $25 free over at DraftKings Sportsbook. High 40s, clear, little wind to worry about there over in Carolina, so not that cold. No wind to worry about, no precipitation, nothing like that. So this time of year, good for that because obviously we've seen a lot of that here lately. Saints 11-2 on the season, 5-1 at home, 6-1 on the road, 10-3 against the spread. Last time we saw them, they were winning 28-14 over the Bucs on the road in Tampa. They are playing for the number one overall seed in the NFC. That's what I was talking about, how this game became even more important than it already was, coming off of the Rams losing straight up to the Eagles on Sunday night. So yes, this is a very, very, very important game for this New Orleans Saints team. Panthers 6-7 on the season, 5-1 at home, but 1-6 on the road, 5-8 against the spread. They're in the middle of a 5-game losing streak here. Team seems to be kind of falling apart. Health issues maybe with Cam Newton as well. Still technically in it though for a wild card spot. So this is an important game also for this Panthers team, and certainly an important game for Ron Rivera because there are rumblings that should this season end up poorly, which it looks like it's going to for this team, there's going to be a lot of shakeup there in the ranks, and that includes the head coach. Scroll down here on this article a little bit, guys. We'll take a look at the lines here, and this is, of course, as of Monday morning, taping this on Monday morning early. You know how this goes. Money comes in, lines move, different things like that. So this is what we're looking at least for the most part here. On Monday morning. DraftKings, we're looking at 650.5 over at 888. We're looking at 650.5 at FanDuel. You got 650, and then at BetStars you got 649.5. I think this has been really toggling at DraftKings in particular between 50.5 just over and over again. I've seen this thing kind of bobble back and forth here, so by the time you look, it might be 50. Again, 65% of the bets are on the Saints, but 53% of the money is on the Panthers. So more tickets on the Saints, bigger money coming in on the Panthers. 75% of the bets on the over, but 54% of the money is on the under. Now, that being said, this thing, when it opened, it started at 53.5. So you can see where it is right now. I mean, even at BetStars, this thing's fallen a full 4 points in this deal. So while the money and ticket count discrepancy is certainly there, that big money was probably coming in when this thing was at 53.5, 53, 52.5. Probably not this big money on the under coming in now that it's down here, obviously at 50, 50.5, 49.5, stuff like that. So just something to keep in mind if you were kind of leaning even towards the over. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Injuries. Teron Armstead, left tackle there for the Saints, is going to miss this matchup. Pretty big injury there for them. Guys graded very, very highly by Pro Football Focus in the high 80s for him. For the Panthers, defensive tackle Kawan Short, not likely to suit up in this one, though he was upgraded from doubtful to questionable, so at least that's a good sign for him. But for Kawan Short, I imagine even if he does play, he's not going to be anywhere close to 100% because, even just a few days ago, they were thinking that he was definitely likely out in this. That would be a big, big hurt to their rush defense there. Really, really good rush defender. All right, scroll down a little bit further here so you can read along as we are going. Saints offense. Let's talk a little offense here. 34.4 points per game. That is second in the league. 7th in total yards. 5th in red zone touchdown percentage. So when they get in the red zone, they're scoring touchdowns. 3rd in offensive rush percentage. 8th in total rushing yards. Obviously, you got that combo of Kamara and Ingram. They want to run the ball. They're doing that a lot. 23rd in rush yards per attempt. However, we have seen Kamara get bottled up at times, so bringing that number down pretty good. 24th in pass attempts. So again, as if they're running the ball so much, they're not passing a lot. However, 11th in pass yards and 5th in pass yards per attempt. So we'll talk a little bit about Drew Brees' efficiency a little bit later, but obviously they don't pass a ton, but when they do, they're really, really good at it. Offensive line grade, 12th graded run blocking unit, 7th grading pass blocking unit. So obviously the upper third there and inside the top 10 in those two units. Overall, for a Saints game so far this year, the total has landed at 56.2 points per game. So that is how many points are being scored in an average Saints game in the course of 2018. On the Panthers side of the ball, do a little scroll here if you are reading along. 24.9 points per game. That is 12th in the NFL, 9th in total yards for this team, 8th in red zone touchdown percentage. So despite, what looks like a team that's struggling a lot, at least when they do get down there inside the 20, they are punching it in the end zone. 16th in offensive rush percentage, 2nd in total rush yards, 1st in rush yards per attempt. Christian McCaffrey obviously been doing very, very well. And of course, Cam Newton himself does very, very well rushing the ball as well. 19th in pass attempts, 15th in pass yards, and 12th in pass yards per attempt. So kind of right there in the middle of the league when it comes to the whole passing aspect. On the offensive line, 20th ranked run blocking unit, 13th ranked pass blocking unit. The average total for a Panthers game so far this year has fallen at 50.5 points. If you're wondering how the pace goes for this team, how fast do they play? Saints run at the 29th pace in the league. I know you think, again, a team that scores so many points as the Saints, you got Drew Brees, you got Alvin Kamara, you got Michael Thomas, you think just run and gun, boom, 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 boom. Not the case. 29th in the league in pace. Panthers 24th. So this game could lose some possessions here. On the defensive side of the ball, give you a little scroll. On the defensive side of the ball here, we are looking at the Saints average giving up 21.8 points per game. 13th overall DVOA, 2nd overall as graded by Pro Football Focus. So Pro Football Focus really likes this defense here for the Saints. 14th in yards per game allowed, 2nd against the run by Pro Football Focus, 1st in rush yards per game allowed, 2nd in rush yards per attempt allowed. So this rush defense is very, very good for this Saints team. 4th rated pass rush by Pro Football Focus, 20th best pass coverage grade, 28th in pass yards allowed per game. Now, of course, when you're leading as much as they are and you're ahead as often as the Saints have been, you're going to face more pass attempts. You're going to give up more passing yards, but still 28th in pass yards per game allowed. Looking here at the defense of the Panthers, 25.5 points per game allowed, 27th overall DVOA, 21st ranked by Pro Football Focus, 17th in yards per game allowed, 13th against the run, 7th in rush yards per game allowed, 11th rush yards per attempt allowed. Now, do remember, should they be without that defensive tackle, there's K'Wan Short. That is a big, big difference on this defensive line for them that has been playing pretty stiff against the run. 20th best pass rush in the league, 21st graded pass coverage, 20th in pass yards per game allowed, 26th in yards per attempt. They have allowed at least 20 points in each of the last 7 weeks and in 11 of the 13 games they played so far in 2018. So this defense is pretty average to below average. You would find them kind of, as you listen to all those rankings there, you were kind of getting into that bottom third, definitely below the halfway mark as far as rankings go in the league. So let's take a look at how we're going to kind of play this game. Let's make a case here for the over, shall we? So first case for the over here is just the Saints average 34 points a game, right? So, I mean, if you're looking at a total that at BetStars was 49.5, at FanDuel, DraftKings 50, something like that. I mean, the Saints are getting you well over halfway there, and then you just need a little bit from the Panthers offense. The Panthers maybe are able to find a little bit of success here, and this game is over. This game has already hit the over by, midway through the third quarter, and you're not even sweating it. The best part, another case for the over in this one, is just the best part of both of these defenses. Obviously, the Saints have an super elite rush defense, and the Panthers' rush defense is much better than their pass defense. So that if that were the case, and these teams decide to take the path of least resistance, then they're going to throw the ball. Obviously, when you throw the ball, it lengthens the game because every incomplete pass stops the clock. You're getting yardage in chunks as well. You have chances for splash plays whenever you're passing the ball a lot. So, again, another way that this game could go over would be something like that. The teams both decide they're going to take a pass-heavy approach in this one. Case for the under would be, look, the Saints are scoring all these points. There's no doubt about that. But this defense is playing at a very elite level. So, even if the Saints do their part, you're still going to need some points scored from the other side of the ball. And look, this Saints defense, over the last 5 weeks, opponents have scored 14, 7, 17, 13, and 14 points. So this defense is just not giving up very many points. Actually, every week since week 10, this defense ranks in the top 5 in nearly every single defensive metric there is out there right now. So while this was a defense the Saints were trying to find their way at the beginning of the season, it certainly has changed over the course of the year, and especially since week 10, where this defense has actually started to play like one of the better defenses in the entire league. So if we're looking at a way this game could go under, is the Saints might say the Saints do what they've been doing all year long and still score 35 points in the game. Well, if they only give up 7, 10, 13, like they've done at least over the last month and a half, then you're not going to get there. So a way that this thing could go under certainly is that aspect. And then maybe these teams actually find some treading on the ground. Listen, the Saints have been super great against rushing attacks, but look, this Panthers team is different than anything that they've seen. You've got Christian McCaffrey, one of the very best backs in the league, one of the very best pass-catching backs in the league, and then, of course, you've got one of the very best rushing quarterbacks in the league in Cam Newton. So, we can throw all these statistics at how good the Saints are at defending the run. However, this is a completely different animal there in Carolina. So, of course, that shortens the game, makes the game a lot shorter when you're rushing the ball a ton. Maybe Kamara finds his way, maybe Ingram finds his way, and then this game could go under that way as well. On the player prop side of things, over at DraftKings, McCaffrey is plus 600 to score the first touchdown, and Mark Ingram's plus 900 to score the first touchdown. Seem like decent little flyers to take there. Of course, this Carolina team's been using McCaffrey in the red zone now pretty much prominently since about halfway through the season. One of the things we were worried about with this team was, can Christian McCaffrey get it done in the red zone? He's a little guy. He's whatever. He's proven that he can definitely get it done in the red zone. So if the Panthers were to win the toss, get the opening drive, take it down there, Christian McCaffrey plus 600. And then Mark Ingram, of course, we talked about how often the Saints want to run the ball. They really want to be a rushing team. So if they were to get down there, they're going to use their big bruising back in Ingram. So I don't think that's a bad bet there. Also considering the under on 2.5 touchdown passes for Drew Brees. What we've seen here with Drew Brees and the Saints team just in general is, they'll pass when they have to, but they really just want to run the ball and use that rush game. And I can see, them getting inside the 10-yard line and this just be battering ram time with Kamara and Ingram. So I'm considering the under 2.5 touchdown passes for Drew Brees as well. Could easily see him getting 2-3 touchdown passes in a game for anybody. Even Drew Brees is a lot. Scroll down a little bit further here for you to continue to read on. And this is how Nate kind of views this game here and how he's going to go about it. I'll kind of break down what I'm thinking and how my thoughts go. Complete transparency. I have 2 different teasers attached to the Saints just winning this game. I have a connected one from the Vikings, and then I connected one from the Browns way back on Saturday. So I need the Saints pretty big to win this game. Took that 6 down to 0 there, and that is how I at least have some certain rooting interest for sure in this thing. So look, the way you attack this Panthers team in 2018 is through the air. They're ranked 29th DVOA in pass defense so far. We mentioned their pass coverage grades according to Pro Football Focus in those lower 20s as well. And this is what Drew Brees and them are going to have to do. I think they're going to have to change their game plan a little bit. Drew Brees is completing, despite the fact they don't throw a ton, incredibly efficient. We talked about their yards per game. We talked about their yards per attempt. Drew Brees completing 75% of his passes so far this year. Completely absurd. He's also, his adjusted yards per attempt is at 9.4. That's the best of his career. When he's throwing to Michael Thomas, the completion rate is actually 86% so far this year. The only thing here is with the Saints, and maybe you could just point to the fact, well, they hadn't had to do it, but Drew Brees has not gone over 200 yards passing in any of the last 3 games. And this offense has struggled and stumbled just a little bit over the last few games. Of course, the big stumbling mark came against the Cowboys at the Cowboys, and this Cowboys defense, I believe, is absolutely legit. So I don't think there's anything to really get all freaked out about and jump up and down about. This Saints team, they are playing the third road game in a row. So if you are one of those people that like to fade those type of situations, definitely wanted to bring that up because the Saints are playing their third road game in a row. They're going to go home after this. And of course, if they were to win this game, they could be playing at the Superdome all the way through the Super Bowl until they have to go over and play in Atlanta. It's rough this time of year just to play that many road games in a row. You're always on the road, sleeping not in your bed, can't get any sort of routine and things like that. So again, that being said, I look at this and I would not blame you if you wanted to play the Panther side of things. I understand the narrative situation where they've got to win this. The coach is going to go all out, yada, yada, yada. I get all of that. I can see, and 6 does seem like a lot of points, which is the reason why I took the Saints and teased this thing down when I did, when I was making those bets with the Vikings and the Bears. I think that the Saints win this game. Could this fall within the 6? Definitely. If I were to be playing this game straight up tonight, probably would go with the Panthers. But again, on these island games, guys, a lot of times I just tease them because if I don't have a really good feeling one way or the other on these things or something like that. I think if you can see this total get to 49, I think there will be 44 points scored in this game. If you were to take the 6-point teaser and bring that down to 43, I do believe there will at least be 44 points scored in this game. As good as the Saints defense has been, I don't think they're going to shut out the Panthers at home. The Panthers play much, much better at home, as indicated by what we were talking about a little bit earlier. I also think the Saints offense will do their part, and I think they will be able to score. I think they will be able to find their way through the air with this. And then, of course, that rush game is still very strong. So I would lean towards maybe teasing that number down to 43, taking the over on that aspect of things. And then I honestly think you could play. This is I know, great analysis, Matt, but I honestly think you can play both sides of this teaser. I think the Saints win. Is it likely to fall within 12? Yes, I think it's likely to fall within 12 as well. So, I mean, you could take the Saints down to 0, you could take the Saints down to pick, or you could push the Panthers up to 12. I think either way, it's probably going to be one of those two-way winners in this thing. And the sportsbooks really love when those teasers land on two-way winners, so let me tell you. But, look, I expect the Panthers to have a spirited effort here, but I just think, talent-wise, quarterback Drew Brees is better. Running back comparable with Kamara, and certainly when you add the duo Kamara and Ingram, I think that's superior to just having one Christian McCaffrey. On the wide receiver side of things, of course, we know who's the number one over there. Now it's DJ Moore, a rookie. It's not even Devin Funchess anymore. It's Michael Thomas over there on the Saints side of the ball. We talked about the defensive statistics, top to bottom. Saints defense is just better as well. So I'm going to take the talent in this one, and don't blame you if you wanted to push that thing up on the other side as well. Guys, let us know how you're going to play this game in the comments below, and pick the exact score of the game in the comments, and I'll fire out an Amazon gift card to anyone who gets it. If we get like 5 or more, obviously I'm not going to send out 50 cards here, but get it down there. And if we have multiple, I'll do a drawing or something like that. But guess the exact score of the game tonight. Let me know what the Saints are going to score. Let me know what the Panthers are going to score, and I'll fire you off an Amazon gift card. Please hit that subscribe button, and please give us a thumbs up here. We really want to need to get to 1,000 subscribers, and only you can help me get there. DKPicks.com for free $25 at the DraftKings Sportsbook over there in New Jersey, and PlayPicks/bonus for all of our Sportsbook and DFS offers. Guys, thank you so much. We'll be back talking bowls this week. We'll talk we got all kinds of stuff going on here. We're going to talk about a ton of bowl games as we go, and of course the NFL all the way through the Super Bowl. Talk to you guys soon. Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video. While you're here, hit that subscribe button right down below. Make sure you never miss a video. When you get done doing that, please head to playpicks.com/bonus for the very best deposit bonus and free money offers on the internet.